Are you there? Philip, it looks like you're having a tough time connecting to audio.
Oh, how's that, Judy?
James, I got you.
Oh, great. Okay.
In South Carolina, so I don't have a lot of contacts up here yet. I have a few, so I hope to build on that. My wife, she works for UMass Memorial Hospital. She's a physician, and she is also teaching the residency program here. So I think I'll make a lot of contacts that way.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And right now, we're just living off of her income, so it's fine, but I would like to make some income from this, so I do plan on doing this full time. So
Good. Do you have a goal for the year, for next year? Like how many
I would
houses you wanna sell, or
I would like to sell at least 6.
6 houses? Okay, that's perfectly reasonable. I would challenge you, if you're going to be a full-time agent, to try to sell 12.
Yeah.
If you want 6, let's go for 12.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, James, same question.
Yeah. So my name is James O'Neill, and I live in Clinton, Massachusetts, and I'm from New Hampshire originally. I grew up in the state capital, Concord, New Hampshire, and then I lived in Milford, New Hampshire for about 20 years. And then I just recently moved down here to Clinton, Massachusetts, and I'm married. And let's see, what else can I tell you? My past work history, I was involved with us in sales for like the last 20 years with technology sales, software, networking, hardware, software, and software licensing. And I did a lot of that with corporate clients. So I have a lot of contacts through LinkedIn. I'm hoping to get a lot of business through LinkedIn. And I want to also get my new real estate license for New Hampshire as well.
Yeah, I was just going to recommend that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I need to do on that. I think it's reciprocity, it's called, or something. But
There was
anyway,
just a class on it somebody did, or let me see, I can send you some information on that.
that would be great. Yeah. And, my goal for 2021 is I like your goal, but I want to add 2 to it. So I'd like to sell 14 houses or be involved in 14. Let's just say I'd like to be involved in 14 transactions. I'm not sure if that's the right, I know you
No,
call them sides.
Yeah, transactions is good because there are 2 sides to every transaction.
Okay.
You've got a buyer side and a listing side, right?
Yeah, right,
And
right.
so 14 is a good goal for the first year, unless you want to up it to 16.
You know what? I think 14 is good, right now.
Okay.
And I think that's achievable. I definitely think that's achievable. And I want to make that happen.
So let me ask you guys a question. How did you come up with your goals? Just randomly picked it out of the air?
Well, it wasn't random for me, Judy.
Okay.
14 is one of my lucky numbers is 14. And so that's that. And then I heard Phil say 6 and you said 12. So I figured, and I figured I'd add 2 and make it 14, and then if I get more than 14, fantastic. But
Okay.
I have at least 14. So it wasn't random. I know that I interviewed with a few other brokerages before I chose KW, and Lamakia, in order to get into their what they call their President's Club, where they give a trip every year, you have to have at least, I think it's 16 sales, 16 transactions, and the dollar amount escapes me, so excuse me on that. So it's one of the other 16 transactions and a dollar amount if you're by yourself, so that's one. But So that's kind of how I gauged that. I said, you know what, 14's cool. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, all right. How about you, Philip? How'd you
For
come up
me,
with
I
your
think
number?
maybe I have this fear that I won't be able to make as many contacts as I like. So I thought that might be a more realistic number, but I'll shoot for the stars, so
I
aim
hear
for the
you.
stars.
So here's what I want to say to you guys. You can do whatever you put your mind to in this business. And I have far exceeded my expectations for my own business. And I feel that the sky is the limit. And so whatever you want to do, you can do. And you just have to have a roadmap to get there. What I'm really excited about is that we have always, or in the last couple of years, I've created an email campaign for new agents of the first 100 days. And we didn't set you up for that yet because we're revamping it. Anthony DeZuzio, with who you both probably have met, and I are creating it together, and we're adding videos and links to things, and we're showing you how to do stuff in there. And it's really going to be special, I hope. And as soon as it's done, which should be the next couple of weeks, we'll start sending that to you every day. If you just follow along and do what we tell you to do, you will meet your goals. You will.
So, I like that.
All right. Okay. So let's get started on orientation. So you both have a book like this that says New Agent Orientation, and it's been filled out for your particular information. The first thing that I want to tell you about is that we have 3 offices. Our main office is at 670 Mechanic Street in Leominster. Have you been there, Philip?
I have, yes.
Okay, so I know James has. Our normal business hours are 9 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. However, with the pandemic, it's not always that. But I would say we're there roughly, somebody's there by 10 every day. And it usually does stay open at least until 5:30. That being said, you can get into all 3 of our offices anytime you want. You all have the capacity to unlock those doors and go in and work and do your thing. So
Right.
you're welcome to use any of the offices. The Leominster office is where you both are going to be based out of for now. Neither one of you chose Bolton or Westminster to have as your home base, right?
Well, I'll only live 10 minutes away from the Westminster office versus about 23 for the Leominster. So
Where are you from, Philip?
I'll be living in Princeton soon.
Princeton.
We're closing on a house December 15th.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you can stop in there anytime you want and use that office. We'll still base you out of Leominster though for your mail and whatnot. But if
Yeah.
you're going to really be working out of that office, have us send your mail there. Just let the front desk know that you want to be based out of Westminster instead of Leominster.
Okay.
Okay. So why do I ask you that? Because everybody has a way of getting mail. And if you're based in Leominster, we have lateral files sort of near the front desk, and you'll have a hanging folder in that file cabinet with your name on it, and all of your mail will go in there. If you were based out of Bolton or Westminster, they send your mail over to those offices every so often. So I feel like it's probably better to get your mail in Leominster because otherwise it just sporadically goes to the other 2 offices. So make a habit of dropping in there every once in a while and checking your mail.
Okay.
We have the Bolton office on Main Street at 1084, and we have 107 Main Street for Westminster. Have you been into the Westminster office?
I have not yet.
Okay. Well, you should drop in. It's cute there. It's really nice.
Okay.
The company's telephone number is 978-840-9000. That rings in Leominster, and the front desk 737@kw.com. That's their email address. That'll get you to everybody in the front office. However, it's probably going to go to Kat Miller for now, and she's running that front desk. Oh, we just lost your picture, Phil.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
See what's happened here.
So we want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to succeed, and it's a win-win situation for us. If you succeed, it's a win-win for you. So you need to know this. We're all here for you. We all want to help you. You can call on us, make appointments with us. We'll show you stuff. Come to Coaching Corner. That's going to be one of your most important places to go and learn things. Follow the emails we're going to send you out that first 100 days, and make sure you have me review any contracts you're going to have signed or send out. Before you send them out, let me look them over just to keep you from getting yourselves in trouble. And if you are negotiating a transaction and you have a question or you want help, give me a call. Walk me through the situation. I'll give you some ideas. I'll try to help you the best I can. Ultimately, you're building your own businesses, and I'm here to walk you along the way with you. We have our broker licenses here and all of the other information that you may need as you go along. So this book is good to keep handy someplace. Also, when I start giving you your codes, you might want to put those in your telephone, because chances are you're going to get to the office and you're going to be like, oh, what was that code? So I learned very fast, the hard way about that, and I put them in my phone just like I do telephone numbers. Meet your team. I bet you haven't met Rochelle. She comes down once a week when she's in the area, but she lives in Utah in the winter and Vermont in the summer. So she tries to make it into the office. When she's living in Vermont, she tries to make it in at least once a week. But it doesn't always happen. So it's hit or miss whether you have met her or not. That being said, she's very approachable. If you have anything you want to talk to her about, her information is here. Send her an email, send her a phone number. I mean, give her a call, text her. She's more than open to talking with agents. Mark, you guys have met. I don't have to tell you how awesome he is. Don't send him an email. If you're looking for an answer about something, send him a text, drop in, or give him a call. If you send him an email, it's going to get lost in the hundreds he has to go through every day.
Yeah.
Linda Anderson is our market center administrator. What does that mean? She's the person that pays us. And so she makes sure we're all compliant in our transactions, which is a good thing because that protects us. I'm your
Who does that, Linda?
Well, I do it first, and then she's right behind me to check up on me.
Okay.
So I will be the first person to check your compliance, and I will either approve it or reject it or tell you if something's missing. And then once you have it all through, I'll complete it, and it's to my satisfaction. I will approve it, and she may go in and look at it behind me, and she might catch something I didn't catch. So she pays our commissions, and so it's really her that's the final person that's going to look at stuff.
Did you say who Rochelle was?
Rochelle is the operating principal. So what does that mean? She's the main owner of the company, of our market center.
She is?
Yep, she is. Anthony DeSuzio, have you both met him?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you both had orientation with him, tech orientation?
Yes.
I have not yet.
Okay. You are going to feel so much better after you have your tech orientation. He's going to show you so much. And I'm going to recommend, he has open class on Tuesday and Thursday by Zoom at 3 o'clock. if you have any technology questions, go into that class and wait for your turn and ask him to show you stuff. He's more than happy to help. And he's basically there, like I am in Coaching Corner on Tuesdays. On when you come to Coaching Corner, it's all about you and what you need from the group. It's not about a curriculum. I always have a subject that I want to talk about, especially in case you guys don't have a lot to ask. But if you guys have challenges that you're trying to meet, I am more than happy to put the subject aside. We'll talk about it next week. So come to Coaching Corner. That's on Tuesdays at 4:15. And come to Anthony's tech classes Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock. Those two things are going to help you greatly in your careers. As you can see, everybody's contact information is there for you also. And you can call Anthony and make one-on-one appointments with him just like you can with me. So we encourage you to do that. If you're stuck and you can't figure out, I want you to go and learn from the resources that we're giving you. There's a ton of resources about Command and DocuSign and anything else that you need to know about. And if you get stuck, we're both here to help you. So don't be afraid to make an appointment with us, and we'll walk you through stuff. I'm your productivity coach and mentor. You're with me for 5 transactions. If you get to the 5th transaction and you say, I'm not ready to leave the program, then you're welcome to stay. And what I usually do for people like that is I don't usually have to give them quite as much. So I usually cut my fee by half after your 5th transaction. Sharon Olson, she's my assistant in the mentoring program. She can help you too. She's also my sister, so be nice to her. And
You
then
two are sisters?
yes, yeah,
Wow, that's wonderful.
yeah. And then we have Melanie. Melanie works, she's not really at the front desk anymore. She started at the front desk and then she became the assistant MCA. And now she's doing transaction coordinating. So after you get through your first 5 transactions, if you don't like paperwork, you can hire Melanie to do all your paperwork for you and get you compliant with the office so that you can be paid. Because you can't be paid until your opportunities are in compliance. So it's a small fee. It's like $200, I think. And it gets you right from you signed an offer all the way through the end of the transaction to closing. But she takes care of all the paperwork for you. So when you get busy, especially after your 5 transactions, we want you to learn how to do it yourself. But after your 5 transactions, if you want to use her for transaction coordinating, it's a great idea and it's a great time saver, and it gives you time to do the things that are more important, like get more business.
Judy, it's only $200 per transaction?
Yes. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Not at all. It's very,
No, that's reasonable.
it's very reasonable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is she your sister too?
No, she's not my sister.
Oh, okay. Just Sharon is. Okay.
Just
All
Sharon.
right. Okay.
And then we have Kat Miller. Kat's the director of first impressions. That means she works at the front desk. But Kat's been with us for several years. She went through the mentoring and coaching program. She's been out on her own, selling real estate. And we had a vacancy at the front desk a couple of weeks ago, and she kind of stepped in to help out, and they loved her so much they asked her if she'd consider taking the job. So she did, and she's great at it. So if you have any questions, you can give her a call too. All right, so our company, our market center, all of the company in all of the market centers that are Keller Williams are run by what they call an associate leadership council. In order to be invited to be on the associate leadership council, which is kind of like a board of directors, you have to be within the top 20% in sales of the agent body. So the agents that are in this group, they know stuff. Don't be afraid to get to know them. What I would challenge you to do, both of you, is pick up the phone and call each one of them. You don't have to call me because we're going to talk all the time, but call each one of them and introduce yourself and tell them, Judy told me to call you and ask you a question. And my question is, what advice would you have for me, for a new agent starting out in the business today? That's just an example of a question you could ask them, but they'll love to give you advice because, especially in Keller Williams, our climate there and our culture is that we all are happy to help you and we all want you to succeed. So please call every one of them and introduce yourself and tell them I said to call, and they'll have a nice chat with you. This group is about to change. In 2021, there'll be a new group. Every year, there are new people that are added. I bowed out for this year because I've been on for several years now. And I took a break for this year, so I won't be on there, but you can still call me. Office protocol, basically, it's you're on your honor. If somebody calls you and they meant to call somebody else, do unto others. You know, it's that philosophy in our office. We believe that listing leads should go to the listing agent. So if you get a listing and you have a sign out on your property and someone calls the office and says, hey, I'm at 123 Main Street and I want to see this house, they're going to look up whose listing it is and give that lead to the listing agent, which is why we don't have desk duty at our office. And I think it works much nicer, frankly, because no one knows more about your listings than you do, for one thing. So everybody wins. The other thing is behave with respect and courtesy to every agent. And I don't need to say more than that. The only thing I will say, though, is that we are a company that profit shares, and how you earn profit share is by bringing other agents to work at the company. And the only way we can get profit share, even if we have people in our downline, is if the market center is profitable. And for us to be profitable, that means we all have to treat the office as though we paid for all of our resources. And so we appreciate your help in doing that, and use what you need, but don't waste. Okay, so here we go to important information. You guys got this filled in, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you have keyless entry code for the front door of the Leominster office, and the keypad is on the right-hand side of the exterior door. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that code that they've given you, and you'll punch that code in and the star button, and you'll hear a click, and you'll see that the light turns green. That means that you opened the door. Once you open the door and it closes behind you, it's going to lock. So you could go in there in the middle of the night, and unless someone else that has a code is coming in to work, you won't be disturbed. People won't walk in on you. If you're meeting somebody there, though, and the office is closed, you need to let them know to text you or call you when they get there, because you may not hear them at the front door otherwise, and they won't be able to get in. In Bolton, they have a code on the bolt, basically, or on the knob, and the code is 4590. And then it gives you instructions of how to make it open, but it's pretty simple. And in Westminster, it's just one of those manual combination lock boxes, and the code is 2468. Who do we appreciate? So you won't forget that. We talked about your mailboxes, and like I said, you guys are both considered Leominster agents right now, and you can change that if you'd like to. But we do have lateral files in there. They will put your mail in your hanging folder. They will also open your mail. So I just want to forewarn you of that because I don't want you to be shocked or surprised by it. But they're looking to make sure that you're not receiving checks. Because if you receive a check, we want to get it deposited right away, right? Those deposit checks are supposed to be deposited or supposed to be in within 24 hours of having a contract. And if we just throw that in your mail, it could go weeks. You may not show up for a week or two. So they will open your mail. And if you have a real problem with that, then you have to let them know. But otherwise, just expect it. So you guys have phone numbers off your office phone number. That's just basically for your voicemail and call forwarding. You don't really need to use that phone number. I wouldn't put it on my business cards or my signs or anything. And what that number does is it forwards right to your cell phone.
Okay, so what I've done this week is I purchased a second cell phone that I have like a cheap plan on, like $30 a month type of thing, and I'm gonna be putting that number on my business cards, so that way I have it's separate from my personal cell phone, so I know if that number rings, it's going to be work related.
Okay, so you need to stop in at the front desk or call the front desk and let them know which number you want the office number to be forwarded to.
Okay.
So maybe you don't have that office number anywhere for anybody to find, but if somebody's calling in off hours, we have the system where they can punch in your name and it will call forward to your cell phone. So you want to make sure it's the number you want. Otherwise, it'll be the number you gave them when you started.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to put two phone numbers on my business card, instead of putting the main office number at the Leominster office, would I put this number or?
So let me ask you why you would want to put two numbers. Because that's
Well, I guess I really don't need to, but
so here's what I did when I started there. I got this number and I thought, well, this is cool. I have my own office number. That's
right.
cool. I'm going to put that on my business card along with my cell phone. So a few things happened. I noticed. First of all, people would call that number, and if I didn't answer it and it went to my voicemail, they'd hang up and they'd call my cell phone number. And on the flip side of that, they would try to text that number, and that didn't work.
Yeah, right.
Like, how come you didn't answer my text? And then I'd have to be like, well, what number did you send that to?
Yeah.
Judy, when I ordered my business cards, I looked at Mark Kavanaugh's business card and I kind of mirrored it a little bit. And I just put one number on my mobile phone number, because you know, that kind of echoes what you just said to Phil. Is it just keeping it simple? You know what I mean? There's one number, and I always have my cell phone, so you know I'm always available on that cell phone. You know.
Yep. And plus that number forwards to your cell phone anyway. So why make them call it twice and leave you two voicemails? So I would just put your cell phone number.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you need two numbers. And I would also, I might put cell/text or something like that, so they know that they can text to the number you're putting down.
Yeah.
Can I share my screen real briefly with you?
Yeah, I can give you permission to do that. Hang on one second.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Can I start screen share while the other participants?
All right, I'll stop my share. Go ahead.
I see. Okay. All right, where did it go? In the Zoom, now it's grayed out. Why?
I'm going to pause recording for a sec. Okay, we're back to recording, and I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. All right. So are we good with the phone number?
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that somebody didn't get a fax number, but I think you guys both did. So your fax number actually goes to your own private fax So you won't have to have somebody put a cover sheet. And what'll happen is when you get a fax, you'll get an email. It'll tell you to click on it on the link. You'll bring you in, you'll have to give your username and password, and then you can see your faxes in there. Only you can see your faxes. The printers and copiers are the same at all three offices, and you've been programmed in there. So if you make copies, it'll automatically charge you. We have to pay 3 cents for black and white, and I think it's 9 cents for color copies. Otherwise, everything else is free. Anything but copies is free. And they have put your information in there so that if you wanted to scan documents to your email, all you have to do is look up your name, push the button, and hit the start button. And they're all three offices are set up the same, so you can do it at any office. Our Wi-Fi is also the same at all three offices, and it's KWNCMA, and the password is all small letters. It's a great day at KW. So now we'll go into technology a little bit. And I'm not going to do too much here. I just go over stuff generally with you because Anthony is the man. So if you haven't made your appointment with him for his orientation, do so as quickly as you possibly can. And he will be your best resource for technology. But I think I already stressed that enough. You have a KW email address. You're going to get everything from us, everything from MLS, everything from the board office at that address. So make sure you're monitoring that. I have all my emails going into the same place, and I'm on there about 40 times a day probably. But for you guys, at least check it daily. Your username should be written right there. And have you both logged on to your email addresses?
I have.
Okay, perfect. So you're getting email. Are you getting email there?
Yeah, I've connected to my Gmail app on my phone, so I'm getting both my personal and my Keller Williams coming in the same inbox.
That's what
So
I
it makes
did
it nice.
too. Yep, that's exactly how I did it too. James, how about you? You're looking a little lost.
What do you want to know? Do I know how to do my email?
Yeah,
Of course.
okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. All right, so my KW, have you guys both logged into my KW yet?
Yep.
Okay.
I have. I played around a lot in there. So
Awesome. The more you play around, the more comfortable you're going to be. So
I haven't done the command 101 yet.
I would do that as soon as you can, because that's going to be real helpful to you. And so command, this is where you go to log in there. Have you logged in there, Philip?
I have, and I actually designed the business card with a template in the out of there.
How did that go? I haven't met anybody who did that yet. So how
It was pretty good. I had to play around with it a bit, and I actually, once I got something, I was able to customize a little bit better and get higher definition by like doing a print screen of it and then saving it and then opening it in Paint and then cropping it. So I got better resolution that way. But yeah, so it's got some finicky things like with resolution when you save the pictures and stuff, but I was able to get around it. So
well, it sounds like you're pretty tech savvy.
I was an IT tech for 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I know somebody else I can call when I have problems.
Right.
Great. Okay, so you guys have both been in there. MLS PIN. Have you both been in there?
Yes.
I have started it too.
Okay. And they have a lot of tutorials in there as well. So go in and do some of those. And when you start getting those first 100-day emails, we're going to teach you stuff in there too. So I'm really excited about that. I don't mean to harp on it, but you guys are going to like that. And we're going to have all those videos. We're putting videos within the emails, and we're going to have all those videos cataloged and up on YouTube for you too. So like you could say, I don't remember how to put a contact in MLS. And all you have to do is go to the YouTube, the coaching and mentoring YouTube channel and look it up and you'll be able to click on it. No video. I mean, we've got some videos that are longer than 5 minutes, but then they're all broken down too. So we might have a 20-minute video, but there are 3 subjects covered. And then we're breaking them down to all 3 subjects so that each one is no longer than 5 or 7 minutes. So you'll like that. It'll be easy for you guys. But play around in there, take the tutorials. As far as Facebook goes, hopefully the front desk invited you to either like or join groups. We have KWNC, front desk KWNC. We have the business page, Keller Williams Realty North Central. We have agents of KWNC. And then since you're in the coaching and mentoring program, if we haven't invited you to KWNC coaching and mentoring, go and ask to join and I'll approve you. The front desk usually invites you though. I'm sure you all joined a real estate board. Did you join the NICMAR board, North Central Mass Association of Realtors?
I joined that one, yes.
Yeah, okay. So all their information is in here and you can go to their websites and call them and whatever. But they have some good information in there and they usually have a calendar in there that'll tell you like when is the next orientation. You guys both need to go to orientation and I think it's within 90 days or else they can suspend your membership. So go on their calendar and find out when the next one is and then make sure you register for it, okay?
Okay.
Because you joined a local board of realtors, you were automatically signed up and made a member of the Massachusetts Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors. They also have great things that you should go in and look at. They've got continuing education so you can get all of your requirements done for free if you don't wait till the last minute. They have coupons in there for computers and cars and all kinds of different stuff in there. So you definitely ought to go into both of those areas and look at and get comfortable in there. I like to talk about realtor etiquette and showing protocol. And it's something that I want to make sure that you guys get right off the bat. First of all, whenever you're making an appointment to go and look at a property, you want to make sure that you check the listing instructions as far as showing protocol goes. It'll say showing instructions. It's about 3/4 of the way down the page and it'll tell you exactly how to make an appointment. It'll tell you whether you can have same day appointments or next day appointments or whatever the case may be. But it's going to tell you everything you need to know. So make sure you read that before you just pick up the phone and call that listing agent. When you go to show a property, always shut off the lights, blow out candles, lock doors unless instructed otherwise. If they tell you to leave a door unlocked, leave it unlocked. Never give customers a lockbox code or allow them to enter a listing without you. You're responsible for what they do while they're there. So just don't let them go by themselves. Always give feedback to the listing agent after you show them the property and make sure you thank them for letting you show it. If you have to say anything negative or give them negative feedback, make sure you say 2 nice things for every negative thing that you have to tell them. And make sure that you have to understand these listing agents, they want to hear your feedback because they're using it to try to determine whether or not the property's price needs to be adjusted or is there some maintenance issue that needs to be taken care of or whatever the case may be. But do it in a kind way because those sellers are going to see your feedback and they're probably going to see your name. So just remember that. When you send an offer, always make sure, here's what I do. I call the agent before I send an offer and I say, hey, hey, listing agent, my client and I just went to the property. We loved it. They loved it. They're wanting to make an offer. And we're wondering, is there anything that the buyer can do to make the seller's life easier? What's important to the seller? How can we make sure that their needs are met? Just saying that will open up a whole dialogue that you won't believe. And that listing agent's going to give you as much information as they can. She's going to say, oh, they need a 60-day closing because they haven't found a house to move to yet, or oh, geez, they've got a house full of furniture. They'd love to be able to leave. Whatever the case may be, it's not always only about money. Sometimes it's about terms also. And so they might need a 30-day closing. If you can close in 30 days, you might be the one to get accepted. I just recently had one where I said that to the agent. And of course, I had a working relationship with her. I've done several transactions with her. And she was like, Judy, if you can get to purchase and sale immediately, that's going to be important to this seller. It's price, always, in this case. But it's also that, because she's trying to make an offer on a house and they won't even look at her offer until she's under purchase and sale agreement. Well, so what we did, and of course you have to be very, very careful when you do this, and you have to be careful not to be the one to say, why don't you waive the home inspection? But what we did is I said to them, here's what I know. I know that the seller wants to go into purchase and sale right away. And when we have a home inspection clause, usually that's 7 to 10 days out. And you don't go into purchase and sale until after that. So if you want to be the one, there were 7 or 8 offers in on this property, you may want to put 5 days down for the purchase and sale agreement and waive the home inspection if you're comfortable with it. However, I would never recommend you waive a home inspection if you're not comfortable with that.
Right,
And,
right.
you know,
For our home in Princeton, this is actually our third offer. Our first and second, they went 20 and 30,000 over asking.
wow.
And so we did not get that. We were actually we put in an offer for the second one at up to 20,000 over. But somebody had won it with 30,000 over. So
Wow.
on our last house, we actually decided to do a whole different kind of a price category. We went well above what the average homes were selling for. So we kind of got our forever home more versus, a temporary thing that we were thinking we have for 5 years, if that makes sense.
Mhm. It sure does.
And when that happened, we put in the asking price and we got it. And we also said that the sellers could keep all the stuff that they had accumulated. They wanted to get rid of. They didn't have to get rid of it. They can just leave anything there. And they liked that a lot because it was an antique home. They lived there for 21 years. It's 5 acres, has a barn. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of wood, a lot of furniture that they wanted to had to get rid of. So they really like that. So they're going to leave a lot of stuff for us. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. But that's very creative. Who was your agent? Well, never mind. I don't want you to say that on here.
Well,
we can talk about that later.
Yeah, right.
But that's very creative. And that's what I'm talking about. So when you call and you set up a rapport with that listing agent, she'll remember you when she's going through the offers, especially if it's a multiple offer scenario. And by the way, you can say, I'll be sending you an offer in an hour. Please confirm receipt. And also when you send the offer, write right on the email that goes with it, please confirm receipt. And they most usually will. So I forget where I was going with that, but absolutely, you've set a rapport now. And you've developed a rapport with that agent, and she's going to be like, oh, I spoke with that agent and this is what they told me. They've got a really strong buyer. They're going to put 20% down or whatever the case may be. And you've already told her a story about the buyers. Just remember that you don't want to get into any situation where you're talking about things that could be considered discriminatory. So we all know there are protected classes, and we don't want to even broach any subject in that way. So just be very careful about that. But you can certainly say they're pre-approved, they've submitted all of their documentation, and would you like me to have the lender give you a call and let you know that they're a strong buyer?
Yeah.
So that'll help you. That'll help you help your clients. So moving on, your career growth initiative goals. We talked about your goals a little bit earlier, and here's a way that you can go into Command and put your goals right into the program, and it'll tell you if you put your appointments and your opportunities into Command, it'll tell you whether you're on track to meet your goals or not. So read those directions. We can sit down and do it together too. I'm fine with that. We have some preferred vendors for signs, business cards, and name badges. Those are the three things that I'm going to recommend. Not signs, but sign writers. I would go ahead and order a couple of sign writers with your name and telephone number on them. They should be 6 inches by 24 inches. And then if you ever have a listing, or if someone says, sure, you can hold an open house today at my listing, you've got sign writers to put on your open house signs with your telephone number and your name, so that way maybe people will call you. We have generic signs you can buy at the office one at a time. They're like $40 or something. So why go out and spend $1,000 on your own signs? You don't want to do it too early in the game, because you might want to change your branding. I've changed my branding 3 or 4 times over the years. And so if you can save yourself some money by buying a generic sign and throwing a sign writer on the top, that's probably the cheapest way to go. Your business cards, you both ordered business cards, so we don't need to beat that horse.
Yeah.
Name badges. They say you should be able to get 6 transactions out of wearing your name badge everywhere you go. And I have a friend, and her name is Kat Miller, so she works at the front desk now, and she'll tell you a funny story about how she wears her name badge upside down and gets twice as many people to talk to her, because everybody wants to put
That's
it
funny.
out. You
Wants
gotta
to
have
help
the
you.
right personality to be able to do that, right? and
Wow.
when you get to know Kat Miller, you'll know she has the right personality for that. I don't. I'm way too anal.
If I did it, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot. I don't want him representing me and my transactions."
Right.
Can't even get his own shit together.
She can pull it off. I'm telling you, she can. And she says, I get twice as many people to talk to me now since I put my name badge upside down. But honestly, they say if you wear a name badge everywhere you go, you should add about 6 transactions a year to your transaction list. So
Judy, the name badges, can you order those right through that website? Is that what it is?
yep, you sure can. And there's a whole bunch of other websites that sell name badges too. So yeah, you can find them everywhere. You can type in real estate name badges, or you can go into my KW and look up preferred vendors and type in badges or name tags, and you'll get a whole bunch of different names of places. So I'm assuming that you guys, because they didn't tell me, know that you've both given headshots to the front desk.
I need to do that.
Okay.
I just got mine, and I can go ahead and send that to him.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I know this is being recorded, and I hope they watch it because they'll get a kick out of it. They will hunt you down if you don't give them a headshot, they'll go find one and you might not like it. Like they'll they'll go look you up on Facebook and grab a headshot or whatever the case may be. I'd get
Yeah,
one that I liked.
right.
So congratulations. We've been through most of the booklet. There's a couple of things I'm going to still go through with you. So let me get to compliance. You guys are going to wonder, what forms do I need? How do I make sure I've gotten the right forms? What if I don't have the right forms? Use this checklist. Print one of these out and keep it with you. I have one in the front page of my notebook. And I'm one of the people checking your compliance, and I still use this list because there are 3 folders in every command opportunity. You've either got a listing where you're working with a seller, you've got a listing consultation folder or a buyer consultation folder, and an under contract folder and a closing folder. All of the documents you need are listed here, and it tells you whether they're mandatory or not mandatory. So I would tell you that this is the Bible, and you want to print this and use this whenever you're setting up an opportunity for yourself. And whenever you're in DocuSign and you're looking for what documents do I need, use this list. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. Here's your business card templates, but you both have them, so you don't need to talk about that. And you can order your business cards anywhere you want to, but this was just an easy place to go. And command 101. If you go and you start taking these courses, they're small little courses. There's none, I don't think, that's over 7 or 8 minutes. Oh, the first one is, I lied, it's 9 minutes, 59 seconds. But if you go to this website here and you start taking all of these little command classes, you are going to feel so good by the time you get through there. And it's going to help you so much. So do that. And they're only 5 minutes, some of them, most of them, or less. And then the next thing that I really, really want you to do, especially if you're full-time, is take Ignite 2.0. Ignite 2.0 was just done live regionally. I taught one of the classes, and if you go to this YouTube link, you'll find all of those Ignite classes. There are 18 of them. They set a great foundation of information for you. James, I know you started going and you said you liked them. What is it that, what would you say about that course curriculum? How would you rate it?
Well, first of all, it's, you know, it's very positive. The person that starts it off is really good. Let me just look at my thing here really quick. Yeah, Jen Bodie. Yeah, she's good. But they talk a lot about, in the beginning, the limiting beliefs, you know, and how to have the right mindset, get a theme song, you know, get pumped up, you know, stuff like that, and you know, just you know, basically what they're hammering in is my job is lead generation. That's my job is constantly going to be lead generation, every single day. You know.
Yeah.
You know, what I like, I don't know if this answers your question, but what I like about it is, one thing they said is, a lot of people think, oh man, what if I fail? You know, what if I fail? And then the lady teaching the class is like, yeah, but what if you fly? You know, what if you really do good? You know, and in Latin, I took 4 years of Latin, so I always think of memento mori, memento vivere, which literal translation is, you know, remember you die, so remember to live. You know,
right.
In other words, you know, you don't want to be 80 years old and looking back on your life and saying, you know, geez, I wish I'd done real estate. you know, because I have friends that found out recently that I'm in real estate. And like one guy even said to me, he's like, man, I should have done that. I
Yep.
should have done
Well,
you know?
it's never too late. And
Right.
you can bring them in under you and you can create a profit share tree for yourself.
There you go. All right.
So
Perfect.
I love Ignite because the classes are a few hours long. They help you, they learn how to lead generate. They give you all the foundations that you need. It's not just me teaching you stuff every day. Every time you take a class, it's a different teacher. And they're building your foundation. And you can go back and review these videos as many times as you
Like
need
my
to.
stuff.
So I would say this is your foundation and core classes here. And I used to teach them all myself. How boring is that to listen to Judy for, there are 18 classes, 3 hours each. That's pretty boring. Get to hear somebody else's point of view, get to hear someone else's way of thinking. And honestly, just don't quit, because you're failing your way to success, number one. So your failures are your dues. You're paying your dues to get there and to be able to be successful. And if you quit, then you're never going to get there. You might be right around the corner from success when you decide you've had enough. And you know, I can't tell you how many days a week I say, why do I do this job? Well, I do it because it's really rewarding, and especially when you can help a buyer or a seller get through their goals and move on to the next phase of their lives. It's very rewarding. It's extremely gratifying, and it's well worth the agony. It's not for the faint of heart. And I'm telling you, these 18 classes will give you a valuable foundation. So please don't skip this.
Judy,
Yes.
what's a realistic time frame in your mind for someone like me or Phil that's new to complete Ignite 2.0, to go through all of the classes and do that? What do you think is a realistic time frame?
So you're full time, and let me tell you that when this is held live, we get through it in about 34 days, give or take, because of, you know, holidays and whatnot. But it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a 30-day curriculum.
Okay.
So if that helps you, you should be watching them about every other day.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So coaching and mentoring. You guys have both signed this performance agreement.
Yeah.
And basically keep it handy, because it explains everything that you're supposed to do. Like, for example, I agree to attend orientation. Well, you're doing that. I agree to attend tech orientation. I understand that I may and should schedule up to 2 one-on-one meetings with my coach each month. After, that's not to say you're not going to need more than that in the beginning, but as a rule, that should be enough for you once you get your basics down. And that does not include anything you need help with, as far as, I'm listing a house tomorrow, what do I do? That's something that's time sensitive. That's not a scheduled meeting. That's something that I'm happy to do. You say, hey, Judy, tomorrow I'm going to show houses and I'm thinking we're probably going to write an offer. Can you help me with that? Yep, you set me up to be available. I will try to help you as best I can. I'll try to fit you into my schedule as best I can. And I'm always going to meet your deadlines for offers, because I want you to succeed. So that's these one-on-one meetings, they're just for general, hey, teach me how to do something. I'll attend a minimum of 2 coaching corner classes each month. I would tell you, go to every coaching corner class, because what you should be doing during the week while you're doing your business and you're learning, write down questions, bring them to coaching corner, and you've got Me plus, usually there's 6 to 10 people there at least that are willing to give you feedback on any questions or any comments or challenges that you're having. And as James can attest to, he went to Coaching Corner this week and he had somebody offer to have him go to an open house this weekend. Come and see how we do it. So it's a great place to network too. Office meetings, especially if you're full-time and you have the availability during the day, attend the office meetings. Mark has a lot of good information that he gives, and you can use that when you're going out and working with people. So do come to those as well. And
How do we find out when they are, Judy?
they're on the calendar every month.
Okay.
So when you get your calendar at the beginning of the month, I print mine out and I circle the things I'm going to go to, or I highlight them, and then I put them in my own calendar. And so that way you'll always be sure to be able to not
Sure.
miss stuff. You're going to be with me for 5 transactions, 1 buy side and 1 sell side at least, and then a combination thereof for the rest of them. I do charge a referral fee. I would say to you that we had a coaching program. We had a different coach. I'm both now the mentor and the coach. When we started out, there was a coaching program and they added the mentoring program because the coaching program really wasn't doing that well. They hadn't closed a deal. We're selling $4 and $5 million worth of real estate a year in the coaching program now. So I would tell you that a lot of these agents wouldn't be able to close these transactions without the coaching and mentoring program. So the fee is irrelevant. Office meetings, Ignite, contracts class. You got to take Mark's contract class. It's great. Learn these following contracts. Take a rental class. Some people are like, I don't want to do rentals. Okay, well, if somebody calls you up and says, hey, I want to sell my $500,000 house, but then I'm going to rent for a year while I decide what I'm going to do. Can you help me with that? Oh, sorry, I don't do rentals. Okay, see you later. I'm going to give my listing to somebody else then. Take the rental class. You won't regret it. Even if you never do a rental, take the rental class. You've got to learn Command. You've got to learn DocuSign. You've got to figure out the opportunities section in Command and the compliance section in Command and the commission section in Command. You need to make a commission bill for every transaction you're involved in, whether you're on the buy side or the sell side. So you got to be proficient in that too. This is the important stuff here too. As you can see, I bolded it all. You will invite your coach and mentor to monitor and review all your documents for each transaction. So you're always going to complete a mandatory licensee consumer relationship disclosure, which is MAR 705, Form MAR 705, at your first face-to-face meeting with a prospective buyer or seller. Okay, that's the state law. We have to do that. Every contract has to be reviewed by me. And the reason for that is so that I can save you from the heartache of having to do them over again and be embarrassed with your clients. When your documents are ready for compliance submission, you just send me a text and say, hey, Judy, my buyer folder is ready to be reviewed. Could you go in and review it? And I will review it and send you notes and either approve or reject stuff, and you'll learn. Don't think you have to be perfect. I expect by the time you get through your first 3 transactions that you'll be able to do the 4th and 5th with just me monitoring and maybe giving you a little feedback here and there. But the first 3, I expect you to lean on me heavily. So don't be afraid to. I am available by appointment for telephone or Zoom calls from 11 to 5 every day. Fridays, not so much, unless it's a time sensitive thing where you really need to know something before the weekend, or you've got an offer that's coming up. I try to save Fridays for my own business. But Monday through Thursday, if you want to schedule an appointment with me, I'm happy to meet with you. You can text me. That's probably the better way to get a quick answer from me, because even if I'm in a meeting or something, I can usually quickly answer a text. Yep, I'm available at 4 or whatever. My telephone number's here, my email address is here, and I'm available for any time-sensitive issues daily by text request. So the next thing is, I'm going to let you read this yourself, and basically it reiterates all of the things we just talked about. And then I just want to talk to you about one more thing, and that's our shadowing program. We have several high producing realtors that have agreed that you could call them and schedule an appointment to shadow them. Kathleen Gano out of Bolton, the Bolton office, has her own team. She holds open houses every weekend. She's available on Saturday or Sunday to have you go and shadow her at an open house. And they do quite a nice business. So she would be one I would strongly recommend you give a call to shadow. And these other agents, they're all top producers. Shadow them, because by shadowing them, you're also getting to know them. When you get to know them, they get to know you. And they may say, hey, you know what? I'd love it if you do an open house for me this weekend. When you do an open house for someone, you get the buyers. Make sure you talk to them about that and make sure that's their policy, because we all run our businesses a little bit differently, but most agents are happy to have agents to call when they want open houses done. So do try to shadow as many of these people as you can. And just be sure that you read this form to its fullest and that you sign it and send it back to me so that I know you've read it and I know that you understand what you have to do, what's your part in it when you're shadowing. But do use this. This is a great program. Do use it. I'm not going to go through frequently asked questions, but just know they're here and you can go and read them and read the answers too. So I am pretty much done with you guys, unless you have questions for me.
I have something to ask if James doesn't ask me anything first.
James?
I had a question, but Phil can go ahead of me.
Well, I got to switch out the battery real quick on my webcam. So you can go ahead first.
Go ahead, James.
I think you were going to send me something, right, Judy? Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I did send it. It was the, so in Ignite, every class has a workbook. I sent you that. And also you've got a script book. So I sent you the link to those.
You did?
Yes.
Through email?
Yes.
Okay, KW email?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, I didn't know about ordering. I don't know what a rider is. I was going to ask you about that. You said
Okay.
to order riders. I've never heard that term before. So
It's just
like
a sign
talk about
rider.
it like it's a toothbrush or something. Like you're like, yeah, you can order your riders. It's going to save you money. You know.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
What the heck is a rider? You know, she's talking about it like I know what this is. I've never even heard that term. You know, I'm thinking a rider is someone that's going to be in my vehicle with me. You know, a rider.
All right, let me show you. You see this form, this pad of paper right here?
Sure.
Pretend this is a for sale sign.
Okay.
If I had a rider, my rider would be a little mini sign that fits in the frame on top of this sign. This is the rider. It's 6 inches by 24 inches.
So it literally rides on top of the sign.
Exactly. And
it
so
rides with the sign.
This sign says Keller Williams Realty North Central 978-840-9000, basically. And then this sign that you're going to put on the top of it in the frame says, call James O'Neill at blah, 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 whatever the number is.
Yeah.
And so you can use the generic sign, but then you also have your personal information up there for people to call.
Tell me more about the name badges too.
And the name
Not that I'm
badge-
going to wear mine upside down, but what's on the name badge? Is it, what does it say? Keller Williams, North Central? Or?
Nope, yes, I don't even know that mine has that. It has your
Just say
name
Keller
on it.
Williams? Huh?
It says Keller Williams somewhere. Mine says Judy Scotland, real estate consultant. And I think it does say Keller Williams North Central, Keller Williams Realty North Central.
Okay.
But yeah, you can design them however you want to. I would suggest you put your name as big as you can
Yeah.
in your designs.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Marvelous.
And they have real girly looking ones, and then they have some pretty manly looking ones. So you'll have to decide whether you want to look manly or not.
Jeez, it's never really been a priority for me, Judy. So
That's okay. I'm all right with that.
that's a whole nother discussion though, you know?
Probably not for this venue, but all right, Phil, what questions do you have for us?
Okay, so first week I was still kind of trying to figure out what I could do, like anything I can do to get jump started. So one of the first things I did was make a Facebook business page.
Perfect.
And then I'm like, well, I saw one realtor that's pretty big around here who put like a video for her like background. So I started working on putting a video together using open source video that photographers have put up and posted, and put some music that was also open source, so there's no copyright issues. And I made like a 30-second video clip about what is buying a home to you type of thing. And then I went and marketed that with Facebook as an advertisement, and I put my information at the end. So with the Facebook advertisement, they've shown it to over 2,000 people. I'm targeting Boston right now because I figured there's might be some home buyers wanting to look this way from Boston. And so far, I've already gotten 15 likes on the video from people that are not my friends on Facebook.
Wow.
And that's only been up running like 4 days. And
Fabulous.
one of them I just looked at because you can read the people's names when you scroll over them. It says Paul Campano, and it says he's the vice president at Keller Williams, maybe Boston.
Wow.
I'm not sure if you know who, like, heard of him.
No,
I'm just looking him up right now.
that's
So,
fabulous. So you are way ahead of the game because of your technology ability. And let me tell you that, let me give you a little tidbit. If you go into Command and you run your Facebook ads through Command,
yeah,
you can gather your leads right in Command.
that's really neat. Okay, I need to, so I can do that through
Yeah,
Command and connect my Facebook.
that's an Anthony thing. No, you should really have a conversation with him about that. So either go to his tech class or set up a one-on-one with him. He's doing it at a very high level as well.
Awesome. Okay, I'll do that.
That's great. Good for you. So in my mind, I'm going to tell you the first thing I would do if I were a new agent, and I don't know if I've said this to either one of you before. I know I have to James. Get a pad of paper, keep it on your counter, and start writing down names of everybody that you know.
Yeah.
And worry about the contact numbers information later. Leave enough space for it. And then when you talk to them, finish filling in the information. You want a minimum of their name, their telephone number, their email address, and their address, right? So you want to get to 200 as quickly as you can. That's going to be your sphere of influence. And that's where much of your business should come from. The second thing is do open houses. Open houses are fabulous for networking with other agents and for getting buyers. So do as many open houses as you feel you need to get the kind of business you're looking for. And the third thing is social media, really, frankly. And
Mhm.
you sound like you're going to be great in the social media end. So that sounds
Yeah,
good.
that's my forte right now.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I like post into the Keller Williams North Central Facebook group? Does that I'm willing to do open houses for anyone
Yes.
if they're
Absolutely.
interested. So
Yep, absolutely. And watch that Keller Williams coaching page, the KWNC coaching and mentoring page,
yeah,
because about once or twice a week, practically, I'm posting something that an agent asked me to find somebody to help with. Can
excellent.
somebody do a home inspection for me? Does somebody want to show a house for me? That
Yeah.
type of thing. So watch that page too.
Will do.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're very, very welcome. And if there's
Yeah, thank you,
anything else you need, you just let me know.
All
Okay,
right, we'll
great.
do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.